After a highly controversial opinion video that I made on the TMNT last week, the first trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem has released, and I'm going to give my thoughts on if it's a shell no or a shell yeah. What's up, Nerdgenic Nation? Superhero nerd Aaron Waller here, and as I mentioned, today we're going to be talking about the first trailer for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Now, I was expecting a trailer over the weekend, but they decided not to release it and instead drop a bunch of announcements for the cast and save the trailer for today. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and quickly talk about that cast. Now, I feel like going with a bunch of unknowns, or at least unknowns to me, for the Turtles is a great idea. Too much star power could cause a bit of a distraction, kind of like what happened in the 2014 Bay film with Johnny Knoxville being Leonardo. But thankfully the Turtles are basically just a bunch of kids, and I think this is both a pro and a con, which I'll get to in just a few minutes. But the rest of the cast is largely star-studded, and even includes Seth Rogen himself, which once again he'll be playing a warthog, but this time not for Disney, so it's starting to become a bit of a theme for him. Well, Jackie Chan as Splinter, John Cena as Rocksteady, and Giancarlo Esposito's Baxter Stockman all caught my attention and have me kind of excited for those characters. But now for why you're really here, let's go ahead and talk about that trailer. Let's first talk about the style, because we had previously seen very little other than some concept art for the film, and I have to say that I actually liked it a lot. It's a bit like Spider-Verse in a lot of ways, but I also feel that it's just different enough that it just simply works. And they also use an awesome song to use with the trailer with a version of A Tribe Called Quest Can I Kick It, which feels right up the alley of the Ninja Turtles. So far we have a fairly creative look and a good song. And then we get into the Turtles, and seeing them goofing around and doing various things just being kids, and I actually like that a lot. Normally whenever movies want to show the TMNT as kids, or at least remind us that they're teenagers and not just Hulk-sized turtles, instead we get to see it a little bit, and it just feels like kids being kids, and it's something that we rarely get to see the Ninja Turtles get to do. And I also really like that they didn't really show a lot of the plot or even the action in this trailer. It was more about introducing the film, and I feel like with a franchise that gets a facelift every few years, this was a good way to transition viewers into that next phase of Turtles. And I have to admit that in general, once seeing the Turtles in action and have the voice cats attached to them, I'm certainly more on board than I was before. Despite my reservations in my previous video, I like the direction that they're going. They feel moderately right in terms of their different personalities, and I kind of dig it. I like how they move, the chemistry feels pretty spot on for the most part, and sure, the trailer has its kiddie approach to it, but it also feels justified in the style and setting. Even the final banter of the trailer of them pronouncing ooze got a bit of a chuckle out of me. And as I've mentioned before, I know this isn't specifically for an older TMNT fan such as myself, but after watching the trailer for a few times, I'm overall liking what I'm seeing. Though that's not to say that there aren't some things that I just don't know how to feel about or could even nitpick on. Things like Donatello having a moderately higher voice than the others, but then again, these are teenagers in the role, so Donnie's voice may change down the line. I just felt like he had a lot more of a childish voice than the rest, which is a bit odd for the nerd of the group when it's Michelangelo who sounds more mature. And speaking of Mikey, I don't necessarily understand why he needs braces. I think that they're leaning a little too heavily into the kids and teenager aspect here and trying to identify with a wider audience. I mean, these are mutant turtles from a sewer. Why or how they have access to braces, or why Donnie most likely is putting braces on Mikey, I will be very interested to find out. It just seems like a bit of an odd choice, but the Turtles aren't exactly known for having a ton of conventional choices over the past few years. But overall, I would say that I'm very pleasantly surprised and honestly now kind of excited for Mutant Mayhem. I was pretty worried about this new TMNT when it was announced that it was coming from Seth Rogen, and as we continue to get almost no news from it other than a few artwork pieces here and there. But now I think the next big test that they'll have to pass is how a second trailer or telling us a bit more about the story will go. Obviously, we are in for a ton of mutants of all kinds, as we saw with the various characters who will be in the movie, but I want to see a little bit more action in that second trailer and then just stop there and look forward to the release, because now I feel a bit more confident about it and I don't want to possibly ruin it. And with it being for kids, it will likely be all over Nickelodeon and everywhere else just to draw in kids and their parents to see it. But for now, I'm going to consider this a huge win. I'm happy with what I saw and genuinely cannot wait to see a bit more and put some more icing on the cake, or I guess toppings on the pizza. So those are my thoughts on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem trailer, and now I want to hear from you in the Nerdgenic community. What did you think of the trailer? Do you have some hope for the movie, or do you still have concerns? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and while you're down there, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos from me or the rest of the Nerdgenic team, and also be sure to give us a follow across all social media platforms at Nerdgenic. That way you don't miss out on any special news, announcements, or articles at nerdgenic.com. But in the meantime, if you want even more video content from us, check out my previous video on the TMNT right over here, or check out the video on the new Haunted Mansion trailer right over here. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it, and we hope to see you in the next video.